Hey Silencers, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's recap show for NBC's series Game of Silence. Tonight we'll be covering episodes 8 and 9 with our very special guest here, Chuma Gault, who plays Dennis, so don't go anywhere.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh. Switching it up.
Dancing. Bet you guys didn't expect this, did you?
No,
they were
expecting
the sway.
It's a sway with some rhythm now.
There you go. All right. There you go. Yeah, we're getting to the end of the season here. We wanted to switch it up for you guys. Special pick courtesy of our special guest here, Chuma Gault, but we'll get to him. Let's introduce ourselves first. I'm your host, Miaira Jennings, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miaira Jennings, and we'll start over there.
Hello, everyone. I'm Abby Vega. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Abby Vega.
And I'm Leslie Ambriz, as you all already know. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at In Less Than No Time.
And finally, our special guest here, who is so kind to join us tonight. Why don't you tell everybody who you are and where they can find you?
My name is Chuma Gault, and you can find me on Twitter at Chuma Gault and Instagram at Big Time Operator.
Are we sure? He was getting his names confused earlier.
I wasn't quite sure, but I think I got it.
You got it this time, definitely. Well, thank you again for joining us tonight.
So excited.
Especially for this
music.
Special, the music for sure.
Wow. It's just a real special episode.
Double episode
Double episode,
tonight.
you had to go big.
So crazy. Double the action, double the suspense. Just right off the bat, what were your initial reactions? Just
Anxiety through the roof.
Yes.
I'm just stressing about how the next episode's the last one and how they're going to get everything resolved and taken care of. And I know that there's going to be cliffhangers and just annoying things that we're not going to figure out, and that's going to bug me.
That stuff. We tried to get
not
spoilers
looking
out of
forward
him
to
earlier,
that.
but
We were this close.
Nothing
Almost.
happened.
I thought we were
Almost.
close.
You almost got one out of me.
She did.
almost. So we'll start off with Terry and Carol. They're pretty, the usual, because they're bad.
No one
so
cares.
Terry actually decides to cut ties with the warden, which we kind of predicted earlier in the season. So good job panel. But I mean, this really throws things off for Carol. Now, my biggest question about this particular topic is, do you think this is permanent, or will the warden need Terry back at any time, or does he already have enough people where he doesn't really need Terry to work with him anymore?
Well, now that Carol and Diana have a connection, I feel like they're all going to have to be intertwined again.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be
think it's-
intertwined. I think if anything, it's going to be something where Carol comes back to Terry and is like, just kidding. Like, can we actually, I need you to help me with this. And Terry's just going to throw him under the bus. And maybe that might help the guys out. I'm kind of going into predictions too early, but.
I mean, what else can we say? We always have to wonder what's coming next.
Yeah.
Do you want to just tell us?
Yeah.
You can
Make it
spill
so
it.
much easier.
There is a... And then...
Oh, you're cutting out.
Dang it. We need to fix some mics.
Oh my
It's not-
gosh. Any lip readers out there? No? Okay. Well, we'll just be patient and figure it out later on. So like we said, another huge part, which we just mentioned, Diana is the freaking boss lady of the town
In
here.
her giant white hat, just owning it, chilling back.
Seriously, she belonged on a yacht with a bunch of drug dealers and just her calling all the shots.
Yes.
Diana
So-
should be in a rap video.
Yeah. That was
She should
All the
definitely
ladies around her.
be in a rap video.
right.
you go.
And speaking of that, I just have to mention, can you please tell the people that you were getting the vibes from Diana too?
Thank
Oh, you mean Mrs. Steele, your girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't leave your girl around Diana. Danger.
Abby, you were
Still
alone in
not
this.
getting it. I don't get the vibes, but
You don't get it yet?
no,
I'm
not
just glad
getting
I'm
them.
not crazy. Because
Not getting them.
that
I'm
vibe
still getting those
immediately,
Sean
right?
and Annie vibes though.
And it surprised me too, because I saw them on set and stuff, and I read some of the, when you read the script, it doesn't say like Sharon gives her the bedroom eyes or anything like that.
really? That was
That's,
a
no,
little
that's
twist on her
all
part. That
like
was all her?
creative direction and creative acting on there. I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know whose sort of idea it was, but Sharon is such a awesome. I mean, she's such a veteran that like, you know, that's kind of what we all I think try to bring to the series is our own personal wrinkles, and they gave us so much freedom to do that you end up getting some. I mean, it was like all over Twitter. I put it up on Twitter, and I got like 50 retweets on that.
Okay, someone's on my team.
Somebody was feeling that.
Yeah, that's cool that it's a smaller thing that gives the audience something to talk about that necessarily wasn't there to begin with in the story. So that's cool.
What if she's throwing us off, though?
I mean,
she already
she's doing a good
job.
job.
A lot,
yeah, for sure. So besides that, Terry is also slowly pulling Dennis back into this lifestyle. Obviously, he's working so hard to get out of. So do you guys? I mean, we see that Dennis's niece sees him with the drugs, and now he thinks he's the bad guy.
The awesome actress Carlacia Grant.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, what is Dennis's next move, especially after being confronted by Sean in the church? I mean, he seems like such a good guy now. Obviously, he's changed his ways. What is he gonna do? Because he can't just get out of this unless he just moves away. So what is he?
I've been saying that I was nervous that something bad's gonna happen to Dennis. I've been saying that a while, but I don't know. I hope not. I was saying to you guys too out there is that I feel bad that Sean and them still have all this animosity for him because, unlike Terry, he has changed, and what he was doing back there, he had all these influences of higher powers and kind of we've talked about this that you know you do what you have to do to survive in that you're either the victim or you're the I don't know. I don't think that
the predator
you're the predator or the prey. So I kind of have a soft spot for Dennis. Don't think that he really deserves all the heat he's getting from Sean in their point of view, but I hope nothing bad happens.
Unless he turns on us.
I don't think he's going to.
Huh?
Well, you know, it is really interesting because I didn't get the scripts ahead of time, and not very many of the actors did. I don't even think the regulars got stuff ahead of time. I mean, it was real hush hush operation. So as I was going through and performing each episode, I just tried to play the moment in front of me. You know what I mean? And up until tonight's episodes, the moments in front of me were to quiet all this action, to calm it down, to protect the family, keep the secrets in the family. But, you know, if you remember back from the flashback scenes, there's some traumatic stuff that happened between these two, Terry and Dennis, as boys, as young men. And then before they even got to Quitman.
Yeah.
Or was it after when his father died? I think it was after.
Was it after?
I think it was.
When they were with the sister?
I don't even know if they
at the dinner table
Yeah,
when they got shot.
I know that scene exactly, but I don't know if it was established.
Maybe
was
it was.
established,
They were a little older.
They were a little.
It
It felt like they were a little bit
after.
older, and then they were still in the game, and then it makes sense because then when I tell him. When he says, "Come on, we got to go get him," and I stay with the family and my dying father, that's sort of their turning point.
Yeah.
Remember that scene, right? So, as a character, it's awesome to play Dennis because it is so much. I have to put out all these fires that are right in front of me, you know, and being the born again, being the one that sort of walked away. I think my character has the most of the past that's trying to reach back and pull him in, and he's resisting against it the most.
Oh, yeah.
All the other characters dive in and like get dirty with it, but mine is resisting it the most, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a really good point because Jackson was the other person at the beginning of this series who seemed to have his life on track, but and it seemed like he was trying to resist at first, but he slowly went back in, and with Dennis, I mean, just because of Terry, he kind of is still, but he's kind of still resisting it, which is cool.
That is cool. I have a question about that whole scene where we see, you know, the family get shot and everything. I mean, it was a few weeks ago, but I was just wondering, as far as commentary, I mean, there is so much in the show that relates to social issues and things like that. And it seems obviously that Terry and you are half brothers, right?
Yes.
So
different daddies.
Yeah. So you have your dad, and he doesn't in the show.
In the show, my father is murdered.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
cut down
before.
No, his dad's not around. Yeah.
So I was just wondering if that was purposely placed there to kind of reference why Terry continues down the lifestyle and why maybe you struggle with that and why you may want to get out of it because you may have had this family experience that he didn't have because his father was absent. I mean, I'm just, trying to
extrapolating the social depths
I just was wondering if that was purposely placed or if it was just.
I mean, you look at the track record that the show creator David Hudgins has, and Parenthood and Friday Night Lights and shows like that, and nothing is, and Darren Sarafian and Gene Higgins and Julie Weitz and Carol Mendelsohn, all these heavy hitters in Hollywood who have series that have gone on for years. So the first thing I do is I don't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
So by his father's very omission, that's got to mean something. Yeah. Because then you have the warden stepping in as a father figure.
Oh.
And you look at his connection, like why they can't leave each other, and how hard he served him while he was at Quitman. But I had a father who was killed by the game. So, after I come out, there's a great scene that Ian Gregg plays the younger version of me. And there's a great scene earlier on where the cops are right when they get arrested before they go to Quitman. And he looks at him and he goes, Ian says to Miles Greer, who plays young Terry, he says, "Don't you hear them coming? Don't you think we should leave?" Like he points to his head, like, think about this for a second. So they establish very early that one boy is about action and one boy thinks, and that's the men we grow into. One is about action, and my character is more on the like cerebral side of how do we do this with the least amount of pain.
Yeah, I just love the flashbacks. I feel like that really sets the show apart because we get so much backstory and so much depth into the characters that we may not get in other series.
Yeah, it shows exactly like why they are who they are in the present. So
yeah, for sure. Cool. So I mean, moving on. So that got a little deep there.
No, I like that. No, that's
I
mean that's a lot of the actors on the show also work on stage. Like I was telling you, Deidre, who plays Liz and Demetrius, who plays Terry, are in Portland right now doing a Streetcar Named Desire on stage together.
That's awesome.
And while the show premiered, the premiere week, in the first 4 weeks, I was in Kansas at the William Inge Center for the Arts doing a benefit play there, But Where's Daddy? And I was on stage in rehearsal, so I couldn't be here for the premiere. And a lot of the actors on the show, many of them here from LA, are like seriously trained theater actors that have long histories and long careers. Even the ones that never were on stage have long dramatic histories. So that influences like all these different things that you can pick up as a viewer, because we bring so much depth to consideration of the character and what might motivate something. And how there was a great scene, and I tweeted about it, when, do you remember when Carol was getting on the jet with Jesse, and he was like, "After you." And it was like a split second, but as she walked up, he looked at her and he licked his lips. And it was like, gross, man, and I know he doesn't really, but he was so underneath that just a small thing like, she makes me want to, you know what I mean? And then you just go, ew.
I remember we showed there was a clip of him, someone interviewed him on the red carpet, and it was so weird because he was so sweet and nice, but he does such a good job of getting into this creepy, awful character. So it shows how great everyone is at their job on this show. It's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, everyone does such a great job. One character, we have mixed feelings about her, Marina. Yes, Marina.
I'm off that team. Not coming back anymore.
We're split because I'm still cool with Marina. But we start off and she's in the hospital and we find out she's pregnant, which is huge revelation, because that's going to change everything as far as her dynamic with Jackson and her decisions to leave or stay or whatever else. She also talks to her colleague, whatever the man is, about Jackson because of his erratic behavior and he's basically a liability when it comes to Diana and her business. So,
is erratic or erotic behavior?
Both. But she doesn't know about
She doesn't know
that.
She doesn't know about the other one.
Yeah.
There is tapes though.
Goodness, I don't even know what's gonna happen if she finds out about that. But
I hope she
know.
never
I
finds
wonder if
out,
she's
to be
going to.
honest.
that was my first question. Is she going? Because right now everything is based on speculation.
But her and Jesse like just had that nice like moment.
But like that's why I'm almost thinking like everything right now for Gil and Jesse's going too smoothly now. They kind of got back. You kind of see Jesse having those true, really seems like she's actually invested. Sometimes I was questioning whether she was
falling in love with him.
But yeah, that and then now Marina and Jackson look like they're going back. So is something gonna happen?
But they're not because he was trying and then she was like, weren't you going somewhere?
No, I think she. No, but I think
Like,
she was saying
not
it.
putting
I
up
think she
with
was
it.
saying it more in a way of, okay, handle your business and then we can talk.
Yeah.
I think
I didn't get that.
That's what I got.
I got it too. I think she's reconsidering
Yeah.
because of Jesse.
Maybe because of the
Exactly.
baby? She's
No, I
reconsidering?
think it's because of what she found out.
Yeah, because it's still after she found out she was pregnant, she was still like,
She was like, oh, okay.
Ring off.
Dang, that sucks.
Yeah.
you know, like basically whatever.
Well, isn't that? I mean, and again, it's a Twitter thing because we have awesome fans on Twitter.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But I've been saying, and a lot of people have been saying that the female characters on this show, the writing for the women is
Awesome.
just fantastic.
yeah.
And things don't come easy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know you're pregnant, but he effed up.
Yeah.
You know? And like, we need to settle that down first. So I'm not gonna just blubber and cry and it's all about the baby and I'm a mom.
Yeah.
You know, no, it's like, nah, man, I need to check you. You need to stay in a hotel for a little while because
I actually wrote that.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wrote that down. I was like, I do not feel bad for Jackson. He deserves it. Even though Marina isn't my favorite person on this show, she just never has been.
Jackson
but
can't
like,
get off that easy.
But you can't deny that she's an awesome, strong woman.
Strong
you know.
woman.
So I think it's great that she lays down the law because in some shows the woman it's so easy for them to just
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There
I
has
need
yet
you now
to be
because I'm
a
pregnant.
really...
So it's nice that she's
Or you're
A
so
really weak
damaged and I'm
character.
sorry
Yeah.
and I get it now.
she's
It's
still
like,
standing around. She's
no,
like,
man.
I wish you should have told me.
You should have told
Yeah.
me, right? Why
So-
didn't you tell me? Now I'm mad at that.
Yep.
Yeah. So my other question about that is, are we done with the Jesse and the Jackson history and chemistry?
I think it's
is
done.
That over?
I think it's
I
done.
don't
You think so?
know. I don't know.
What do you think, Leslie?
I think it might come back.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, I thought Gil was gonna die, and that was what was gonna bring it together. I like Gil.
You
He's
knew
funny.
he was gonna die. You're
I was kind of like, it's okay, that's rude. But no, I
sorry,
really
I wasn't
did.
trying to be
It's
rude.
okay. It's okay.
no, yeah.
But yeah, I
think
could
it's
kind of
done.
see it coming back.
I'm torn, honestly.
I think it's done.
I don't think
mean,
so.
Jesse to me seems all in with Gil, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking Jackson seems pretty all in trying to get Marina back.
And this might be like a
Definitely
season two
when
thing,
he
you
finds
know?
out about the baby, if he does, there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way.
But it'll
do you
still
think?
be there. The tension will be there.
Well, I mean, you look at history, right? And
Yeah.
just Jesse and Jackson have so much intense history.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I don't know how long Marina's been on the scene, just a couple years, right? At least. And does that stack up? You know, like how does that? I mean, that was like some heart stuff, like little kid way back, like car seat stuff. So like, how do you overcome now going through an emotional thing? I mean, that speech that Bree gave her when they meet each
I
other
got the chills.
in the
I
thing,
loved
and
that
she was
scene.
like, no tears. She's like, this is what happened. This is what's going on.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful scene
I
between
loved
them.
that. I
Right?
seriously got the goosebumps. I
So
was like,
there
that
you
was
have,
amazing.
like,
They're phenomenal.
Team Jesse and Team Marina, like they both have their drawbacks and they both have their positives to which way anybody's gonna go. So it's a pick 'em right now because
Ooh,
Maybe
I'm excited
Marina
to
will
see
let
because
it
to me,
slide.
I thought it was kind of done, but
wrote it off. I'm not
You wrote it,
writing it
yeah?
off.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like they're gonna find out about the cheating, and honestly, Jackson could end up with neither one of them.
Okay, ready? I got
Because
prediction real
you
quick.
got one?
Okay,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
okay. So
Lay it on
everything's
me.
gonna be good with Marina and Jackson. It's gonna be great. But then Jesse's gonna be off to the side. She's gonna say, you know what? Go with her. I could totally see that happening.
What do you mean?
Like she's gonna give Jackson, Marina's gonna give Jackson permission to go with
like,
Jesse.
Like see what's happening between them and just be like,
I think so. I could see it happening. Like a happy,
but what about poor Gil? I'm like
Gil and Marina. There we go.
Yeah, that's like the worst joke ever.
She would never.
That would never happen.
No. Her parents would have a heart attack.
Yeah, that's not.
Her parents, Where were you when my daughter was by herself?
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Dad, like, way to do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, oh
my gosh.
Yeah, he came in real hot.
Don't tell me it was work. Like,
yeah, it was a little awkward. I felt a little awkward for him.
Yeah, I was a little uncomfortable.
He's like, I was actually about to have an affair with my long-lost love.
See, I was in Vegas. And
I don't know who's going to be with who, but we will see. Hopefully, we'll see.
I mean, I could even throw out there, I mean, how do Jesse and Gil, I mean, that's going to take a strong bond, too, after all this. Like, his breakdowns around her and the pictures, and, you know, that's, like, really heavy.
Yeah.
But for a couple to absorb and then keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost
that's
like
true.
the death of a
like,
child.
Once all the chaos is gone and it's resolved, it's then
Right.
they still have
with?
that.
Yeah.
Just a really emotional, deep, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
That's like just, I mean, their relationship compared to everyone involved trying to figure
That
everything
would
out.
be interesting to see as like a stretched out season of like how they deal with it.
Yeah, because that's real. I mean, like you said, at the end of the day, when the action is gone, people still have these
Relationships.
deep-rooted problems that
yeah.
they have to deal with.
They're all completely different from how they were the first episode.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
All
everyone has
evolved,
changed.
yeah.
Everyone has
Yeah,
changed.
that's true.
I gotta give shouts out to also, like, I just think the way that the episodes are built, like the tension and the writing and the music
we were
tonight
saying the music
was so good, and it didn't feel campy, and it didn't feel out of place, and it just had this underneath to it. The series as a whole, as a unit, is really maturing and developing as well.
No, the music always gets me because it gets me tense. I'm like, oh no, something's gonna happen. And then when it's like dark and there's music, I'm like, this is really bad. It's like,
in the slow motion.
Yeah, the slow-mo with
slow-mo.
Gil.
No.
I thought it was about to go
Slow motion
down.
is never good. But we'll move to Detective Liz really quick because there's, pretty big parts of her in this episode. She finds Bobby's body, which is huge because they had been trying to solve that whole case for a long time and figure out where Red is, which they still haven't solved, but obviously they're connected. And I'm just wondering what's going to happen. I mean, obviously Jackson and Liz finally speak, which I've been dying to see over the past few weeks because I feel like they could team up and really take Terry down. But it seems like right now they're just going to kind of stay out of each other's way. But do you think it would be smarter for them to team up against Terry?
Think so.
Now that they know each other's truths, kind of? I mean, Liz doesn't know everything, but...
I mean, I think that's kind of where it's headed. But to me, there's no way that this all works out for all the good people in a good way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
There's no way that they're going to team up and they're all going to come out unharmed. So one of the good guys...
Liz, gone, bye.
Like you know what I mean? I just don't think it's gonna work out as smoothly as they think it will now that they're getting.
Well, you got like Sean's bubbling up now, right?
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden he's found some strength and some anger out of nowhere, but because of Annie dying.
Amy.
Yes,
not
Amy.
Annie's
I
alive.
always get them
Annie's
mixed
alive
up,
and
so
well.
yes.
She's
Nurse
doing
Amy.
great.
Yeah, and then Annie and Sean have that, so it's like that's got a couple of different ways to go now too.
That's what I'm saying. It's just there's right now. I feel like something bad's gonna happen to one of the good people.
Yeah.
I'm not even maybe one of the people who's actually involved in this, but like I said, I've been nervous about like Annie this whole time.
Yeah.
She's kind of scooted along without any drama
They
for a
need
while.
to leave her
really
you know?
vulnerable.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is.
Chubby
And
little
then
boots on.
I don't know. It's just
so cute.
I think the baby's gonna be okay.
The
Yeah,
baby
I
will
think
be
the
okay?
baby's
Yes,
gonna be
I hope so.
That'd be
How about
that
that
to us,
scene though
guys.
when Sean got pulled over with the white baby?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was
We talked about
yeah, we
that.
talked about that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm telling
That
you,
was a
man.
good conversation for sure.
Yeah, that's
I was like,
show.
way to go, writers. Bringing it up.
Bringing it
Yeah,
up.
I like how the
Leave
show
that there,
tackles a lot of the
please.
issues that are happening
Yeah.
today. So
So
Great.
we'll basically see what comes out of Detective Liz and Jackson's situation and their agreement. I'm guessing we won't get it next week, but who knows? I mean, maybe they're saving that for season 2 and to see what happens with that. But I honestly think they're going to have to resort to working together because
it has to happen.
I mean, at the end of the day, if Terry finds out that they even spoke, it's going to be huge, and it's definitely going to have repercussions for, you know, Liz and her brother in prison and everybody. So,
or maybe one of them just gonna throw the other under the bus because Terry's gonna get to them.
Maybe. Or do you guys think now
that's the thing is there's so many different options of how each relationship and what's going on could work out. So I can't even wrap my mind around it.
Yeah.
You guys, I mean, now we've never. It's Alicia, right? The daughter, your character's niece.
Oh, her
niece. Is that her name? Alicia?
Yeah, I think so.
Alicia?
We'll go
Alicia.
Alicia. Yeah, Alicia.
I think now, because we've seen her, she's been mentioned. I think maybe, if anything, Jackson and Liz could use her against Terry.
Yes, that's true.
That might be
because she does seem like a weak spot for him.
Yes.
When Dennis was kind of saying, you know, this is your daughter. If you want her in your life, you need to tell her the truth.
Great point.
I don't know.
I did not think of that.
And it was like, why are we?
Yeah, he straight lied to her. I was like, he did not just do that. He's like, your uncle is a very troubled man.
Yeah.
He threw you under the bus.
Smeed face, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I think, shout out to Nikki, by the way. She's not here this week, but we miss you. And she's been saying, you know, Terry's definitely ruthless, and he would throw his brother under the bus. Snap his
and he
finger.
did.
And
That's what
he
she
did.
said.
Oh, well, she thinks he would kill you.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a watered down version of that. Yeah, which I mean, it would not be shocking, honestly. You never know with these bad guys. But moving on, so we have Jesse and Gil, and they come up with a plan to go to the ranch and see what's in the safe. Huge part of the episode. We finally get the pictures. Gil has the pictures, and he sees, you know, what happened to him at the parties. And also they have a lot of other material, you know, with the other people who are in power and these women and all this other stuff.
Yeah, which is big with Jesse and that guy.
Yeah, she threw it down in that scene.
Yeah, that's another.
She's like, I have copies.
Yeah. Jesse is just awesome. I love her.
Yeah,
she's so
she's
cool.
taken on a whole different role in this entire operation. Where do you
Yeah.
guys... I mean, where do you even see this going with her? Because obviously, I mean, I'm totally jumping ahead, but we see that it's not always going to be sunflowers and rainbows for her down the line
that
with
next
Carol.
preview.
Yeah, he picked her
But
out.
I just still don't think it's the smartest idea for her to be getting so deeply involved.
But we
That's
just
just
knew,
me.
I wouldn't say it's the best idea, but we knew she was going to do it. That's just the kind of character she was, and that's just...
And she was in the car when they ran over or
That's
had the head-on collision.
I feel like it's a lot of it is, like she said, she feels guilty. She feels like it's her fault that this all happened to them, so she's throwing herself in there, and she's going to try her best and do whatever she needs to
But
do.
because of that, I think she's going to put herself in a bad, dangerous situation.
Well, we all knew that Ray Carroll, when we assumed that he knew who she was. We all kind of, we guessed.
That's when he was kind of like, hi, bye,
See,
and then went straight to the other lady. We're like,
a little too fishy.
The only reason I knew is because they included that flashback right before she signed up for the campaign. I'm like, they wouldn't have just included her going to Quitman right before that. It was, you know, a foreshadowing
and plus, he
kind
knew
of
her
thing.
name too. I feel like he doesn't forget names.
Yeah, I feel like he doesn't forget it.
No, he keeps track of everybody
Yeah.
he comes in
He's
contact
got
with.
that Clinton brain.
Yeah, he's
Just
everything.
locks onto every
and he'll use
detail.
it. Yeah.
I don't know what to make of Jessie right now because I fear for her. For her life.
I honestly think she'll be fine.
I don't know. I feel like she's getting in too deep. She's too close. And now that we know from the previews that Carol recognizes her.
You guys.
What?
So in the
Bring the
preview,
prediction. Bring it on.
In the preview, it's Jackson freaking out saying, "Where is she?" And I assumed it was Marina, but it's probably Jessie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Bam,
that's
she's
true.
got it. I hope.
That's probably obvious to
Can you drop
everyone.
these?
Drop. Yeah. I'm gonna
All
unplug
right.
it.
We will note that for next week, and we will
But I
find
didn't
Get
think
out.
some
about
stunt mics over here.
I can just drop it. No, because I just assumed. I'm sure everyone who saw that probably thought that.
Yeah,
to
I
me, that
did,
was a
so-
revelation I just had. Right? That's right. Right.
Revelation,
Okay.
yeah.
I get revelation. Revelation intertwined sometimes. It just comes out. Okay.
She gets visions. They come.
Sorry, I get excited and it's okay. Moving on.
Sorry, I laugh on people. I'm so sorry. I laugh on people. She knows.
He's like, get those girls away from me.
It's like, also, that's why I'm in the middle.
Right, they know.
Yeah, I
They're
think
smart.
you're totally right. I think that's crazy, and we'll, like you said, we'll find out next week. But that's definitely something to know.
He looked intense, like where
Yeah.
He was.
So the biggest part of the ending was Gil and his kind of planning to, do this huge send off and killing, suicide, whatever he was going to do, which I totally didn't expect. Abby, you called it a little bit earlier in the episode.
Well, when he did that little thing with Sean, we were like, no, he's not joking.
Yes.
He just tried to play it off like he was.
He leaves goodbyes. He's acting so nice, cooking the spaghetti and whatever else, and he's planning to kill. Yes, last meal. Woo, the last supper.
Gotta go with class.
Yes. He is planning to kill the warden at Bobby's funeral and then kill himself. We later find out he's going to kill himself
Murder
too, which
suicide.
is, oh my gosh. That was tragic for me because obviously he's been dealing with this, and he, arguably may have had the hardest time coping with these things. And it just broke my heart to know that he was going to kill himself too.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys think about that scene? And did you expect him to stop?
I know some of us thought he was going to go through
I
with
thought it was
it.
going to happen.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to happen. I don't know. I thought it would have been a very big shock.
Yeah.
Because, ideally you don't want any of the main characters to die or anything like that to happen. But I was thinking maybe they were going to shock us and he was going to go through with it.
Exactly,
Right when things were they were starting to piece things together.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to switch it up on us and let us.
I'm right on track with you. The whole time I was like, that's it, he's dead. They chose one character. It had to be Gil. Of course, my favorite character. Let's go.
I still think one of those guys, something bad. I don't know. It's just.
I just think the writer set that up so nicely. Like we said, the slow motion, the music, and his,
the letter
nice
as
little
he's reading
deed.
it.
Yeah, he looked so nice.
Well, where they really set it up was when he was looking at the photos by himself and drinking.
Yes,
and
that's true.
Going through all that pain. We had to take that trip with him to believe that he was going to go through with it, right?
That's true.
So they backed it up to earlier in the episode. And, you really feel for the guy.
Yes.
I know how it is to... and who actually pulls photos out anymore, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, I know I've come across, old photos and just...
Everything just rushes
It just
back.
rushes. Everything gets so powerful,
Yeah.
and he's already kind of on one anyway. And it seems to me like he had the most... They abused him the most. Because he was the toughest, right? So, that scene with him in the clown makeup, I was like,
awful.
I'm done.
Yeah, and the way that they set that scene up too was with those very split seconds of flashbacks. Kind of each time he changed the picture was just another memory that came back to him. So yeah, that's so true that they set that up perfectly because we actually did believe that this was something he was going to do.
Yeah.
And that's a really good point.
So. I thought this is it. This is the boiling point.
Sure.
And also what's cool is we didn't have to see the photos.
Oh, thank God.
To connect with his emotions and to understand what he was seeing. So I thought that was very
That was
well done.
cool.
They did that really tastefully.
They did that really tastefully. And that's often, that leaves it up to... Now that's the show giving the audience a little respect.
Yeah.
And leaving it up to our imagination to go ahead and fill in those blanks. And then Michael Raymond-James, shout out.
He's unbelievable.
Come on, I could watch that guy eat toothpaste.
So
I know. He has been incredible this entire season. I love any scene he's in. He's just... We said that his range of emotions, too, that he's had to go through. Yeah. That one scene where it was him and Bobby Marks. Yeah. It went from, him going in there. He had the control, and then it just to him breaking down. And he's just been incredible. There's been so many scenes of him that... Just
to be able to jump back and forth from that as an actor,
and then totally believe him in bed with Jesse. That. Remember that episode that started with them in bed? It was so sweet, and gentle, and all the white sheets and the
it's
excellent execution.
Yes.
And at the very end, they find bones. They go to the land and they dig up Petey, which we think is
which was
Petey.
very. I'm sorry, I have a little critical thing. That was too fast.
It's too easy for them.
It was
right
it's
under
been
the surface.
years.
But the thing is even though it was years and stuff, the thing that I think that they did well with that was the way that they tied in that, you know, he did have all these chemicals on him. So that was a, you know, valid reason to why this would happen.
I mean, I feel like it's not completely unbelievable. We got to suspend our disbelief here.
It was just a little too
No, the only thing that to me was, obviously they can't show it on when there's only a 50-minute episode, less than, but they just obviously like found it so quick.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I thought it was, the way they executed it, I thought was, they tied it up well. That's what I thought.
So, with that being said, so much, let's get into some predictions. What do we think is going to happen next week? Or, next week on the finale.
Well, I already said mine, but I'm saying that, you know, Jesse's going to be kind of taken captive, and something bad's going to happen to one of the good people. One of the good people. And I say that, when I say good people, I include Dennis, Annie, Liz, and the 4...
And Baby Boots.
And Baby Boots.
Oh, no,
I think Baby Boots is good. And I include Marina in that, too. But I think something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Yeah, something bad's going to happen. And then I'm kind of going off of what Abby said, but the whole Jessie thing, if she is captured and all that's right with the preview, maybe this will be a time for, like, Jackson and Gil to kind of actually talk about Jessie, because they've never really talked about him.
So. True.
Which
I feel like they had when they were in the bar, that first scene that she came back, he was like, oh yeah, I saw the tension or something, but that was it and it was dropped. But I would like to see them talk a little bit about it, maybe have a little bro fight, figure it out, cry about it.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Well, we will wait and see. One more episode.
That would be tough to write, because guys don't communicate the same way.
Yeah. But these guys have been through a lot, so maybe they might break down.
And they're very chatty.
Another side note that I really like about the character of Gil is that they show him being so emotional, and like he cries a lot. But to me, that never takes away from him being just like this tough, still really strong guy. Which I think sometimes in shows and movies, when the guys are always breaking down, they come across as like kind of like, oh, the wuss. Yeah, the softie. But to me, I would never look at Gil and call him a softie.
Right.
But that you see him break down a lot, and I think that's kind of cool.
That's true. Yeah. I'm glad they show different facets of these characters. So I mean, we covered the episode, our predictions, and now let's focus on our guest. Well, you know what? I never know. And I say this every week. I'm like, we never know.
She's like, I don't know, guys.
We just want to put you in the hot seat.
We want to put you on the hot seat. We got to get to our guest right here. So we have Chuma Gault, who plays Dennis, and let's just focus on you right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've had some of your castmates on the show.
Yes.
And, you know, they've had actually very different stories of how their roles came to them. So can you dig in a little about your audition process and what appealed to you about the character of Dennis? I know you said a little bit about why you like the character, but
I love there are a couple of stories in my career that will go down, might be etched on I'll have a really large tombstone, and I'll be like, that time I got that Game of Silence part.
It's on there?
Yeah, it'll be on there
gotta
for sure.
Gotta hear this.
So it was just like a random Monday, and my manager called and was like, hey, I got this thing for you on Wednesday. I've been trying to get you in for a while. It'll fit you. I think you like it. I looked at it. There was no guns, and I wasn't raping anybody, and it was kind of smart and everything. And I was like, "Oh, okay, let's go for it." And there was just something that told me, and I was really in kind of a zone that week, and there was something that told me, like, really work on this one. This one is. Because that's how I've done a few of these series on networks and stuff, and that's how I generally get work is I'll go and get some small part and it turns into a bigger part. And this was not a huge part, but it was something that I could do something with. I could bring something to it. So I went in there and was kind of in a zone. I had friends trying to come and talk to me. I was like, I can't talk to you. Focus. And I went in there and with Carol Kritzer at UDK, that was the casting people, and did my thing. It was 2 scenes. It was a scene, an early scene where I meet Terry first tells me that it's the Equipment Boys have shown up again, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And then it's a later scene, which I can't divulge. No spoiler. So I did them. I was on a Wednesday, and they were like, shoots in Atlanta, leaves Monday. And they're like, they'll let you know. Thursday morning, haven't heard anything. Friday morning, haven't heard anything.
Wow.
And I just was like, all right, well, I guess it wasn't me. And I called the manager, and it was like Friday at 3 o'clock, and he was like, everybody at NBC went on a retreat. They're on some executive retreat.
Bad timing.
They won't see the tape until like Saturday or Sunday. And I was like, what? And it leaves Monday? So I was like, yeah, okay, man, whatever. I'm just going to give it up to the universe, and whatever happens, happens. Sunday at like 5:30 rolls around. Mind you, I'm supposed to leave Monday morning. Sunday at 5:30 rolls around, and I'm like, all right, it's not happening. And right then the phone rings. And it's my manager, Chris Black, and he says, I got 2 words for you. I said, what? He said, start packing.
So it was a very quick turnaround.
Yeah, it was super
literally
quick.
one day, right?
One day. But then they said, okay, well, since they pushed it, they were a little flexible, so they said you didn't have to leave till Wednesday. So
But still.
That's so cool.
So turn around fast, right? And originally they said, it might be a few episodes, we don't know. So it was one of those where I was kind of in the zone, so to speak, or what I call under, that I didn't really remember what I did in the room. And so I called casting and I said, hey, is there any way I can come see that tape? Because I don't know what I did. I don't know what you responded to. And that's, it was such a quick turnaround that I wanted to be able to go there and not mess around and give them what they needed, right? So there was some hoop jumping because it's all coded and all undercover, and I actually had to go to the casting director's office and sit in her chair and let them
play it for me
off the link. Wow. And it was just one of those, I mean, for all actors, they know about this, and you guys probably know about it too, but there's that one audition where you go in and you do something that no one else brought in. Yeah. And that's what she told me. She said the way that I translated the emotion of the character in those 2 scenes, no one had brought that in. And I was like, wow,
nice.
It just felt so, good to be unique, I guess, and a gut instinct worked.
Yeah.
So that one win will support now me for the rest 10 years on going with my gut.
Yeah.
So we showed up. I fly down there on Wednesday and start working. And then it turns out I got that one episode, and then they said there's going to be another one and maybe one more. And waiting. Boom, boom, boom. Those happened. And then they sent me home for a couple of episodes. And then while I was home, they said, okay, it looks like you're going to play out the season. And they didn't make the deal right away. But once I got back down to Atlanta to shoot 7, 8, 9, and 10, we did the deal memo for the rest of the season, and they said, yeah, thanks for helping us out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that it's a bigger character because there's some pretty memorable scenes with Dennis and Terry. So.
Yeah, and even you mentioned a few times like how actors, you go under and you don't remember where you're in that state, and then you said how you have the theater training. Do you have to, I've asked this to some of the other characters before, do you have to like sit down and write like an intensive character description? Like, is that what helps you get under, or is it more of like a method acting, kind of just channeling back your emotions?
That's a great question. For me, sometimes there's a combination of the two. I'll do a little research, and then, for example, in preparation for a possible hopeful season 2, I went to Homeboy Industries downtown here. We're a Homeboy bakery that they use ex-cons. They funnel them right into the workplace in this bread making company and cafe. And so I went down there to do a little research, and I ended up going into the gift shop and talking to one of these guys and telling him a little bit about the show. And he lifted up his shirt, and he showed me 27 stab wounds on his body.
Oh my gosh.
And he said and then he pulled out a picture from his pocket, and it was like watching the show. He had to been, I'm going to say 28, 29, maybe 30. And he pulled out a picture. It was him when he was 17, and it was his 18th birthday. It was that night, and it was a picture of him and like his boy and these 2 girls, and they were all drinking 40s. And he was like, "That's the night I got arrested for a double homicide and went in for 2 consecutive life sentences and started out in juvie." And he what he proceeded to tell me about the stuff that went on in juvie, like, would have to be on Netflix or Hulu or HBO. I mean, we touch on it in our show a little bit, but it was all right down the line. And he was like, yeah, you guys got it right. So that was after we had finished filming, but it was little things like that. I had an Uber driver in Atlanta that had been in the game, and he was my first Uber or Lyft. I'm not sure. Nobody's paying me, so I don't know who it was. I told him about the show. He's like, what are you doing in Atlanta, man? I think he recognized me from the other show I did that's kind of popular. And I told him about the show, and he said, oh yeah, you know, I used to be in the game. And then he like broke down. So to answer your question, I pulled kind of I think I kind of pulled the basis for what I'm doing with Dennis from this guy, because he was so cool, and the way that he talked about being in the game was just very even keeled. And I said, that's what you have to be. That's what being inside taught you. You can't let anybody show your emotions, you know, or you can't let anybody see your emotions, or that's it, like you're predator or prey. So I don't necessarily do a lot of back history and all this, because, you know, how do you keep all that in your head? For me, I really go moment to moment and look at what I need from whoever I'm standing right across from. And I'll have a few sort of key points in my head about what my obstacles are, what my heart needs, and then is this person standing in the way, or are they helping me? I try to make it really binary so that I can focus on that one thing or those two things, and then let you guys fill in the blanks, let the audience fill in the blanks. And I know that happens, so I just have to give myself over to not trying to overdo it. And that's kind of, you know, and I guess the theater training kind of helps with that a little bit. You work with something, and at the end of the day with theater, you're actually peeling the onion away to get down into the, you know, chewy center of it. You're not really adding things on, because we're bringing so much material from our daily lives into it, that I think for me the most successful thing is to just really boil it down.
And that's when like the subtleties come out. You mentioned like with Ray and his lips and Diana staring at Marina.
Staring at Marina a little too long.
Things.
Just a little, and it allows those kind of moments to happen. You know what I mean? Like the more you're sort of open to any sort of new stimuli. I mean, it could be somebody moving around in the camera. You know, it could be something not related to it that gets you a little pissed off. And if you let that play through the scene, it's like, whoa, where'd that come from? You know what I mean? Like, for example, in my audition, it would have been I had to apologize for something, and it would have been very easy to apologize and ask for forgiveness. But I'm a grown-ass man, and you're a grown-ass man, and I don't need to beg you for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I will put it out there, but you ain't my daddy, right? So you can take my apology or leave it, and that's how it's going to be. And that's was the difference. You know what I mean? Like, that to me was like, that's where I was in the moment. I was like, I took 2 or 3 people coming up to me on Lancashire Boulevard trying to holler, and I'm like, yo man, I'm busy. You know what I mean? And I just took that, and I took that upstairs with me. And that had a presence. It had a fire. It had a crackle to it, versus something that I had worked on at home and thought about in the car. It was something that was right there.
In the moment,
In the moment. So that's kind of where
awesome,
I try to go
those
from.
Things come across.
And lastly, I mean, like we have been mentioning the whole time, the show addresses so many social issues, racial relations, child abuse, domestic violence, corruption in the justice system. I mean, it just, the list goes on. For you in particular, is it important for you to go after roles that kind of address all of these things and that, you know, break the mold of typecasting and things of that nature, or was it just nice for you to come across this role? Or do you deliberately go after
typecast me, please? Typecast me and cast me in everything that type is. No, I don't. I mean, I think the universe provides. You know, I've always gotten parts. I'm not big enough yet. I'm not well known enough yet in my career that there's a Chuma type. unless it's just me. So, but strangely, whether it's on stage, in a commercial, I do a lot of commercial work, in a commercial or on TV or even in film. I was in the Nina Simone biopic that just came out. And that was at a really interesting time in my life. I get the stuff that's reflecting where I am in my life right then.
Nice.
And there was something about this part that spoke to me on a professional level. The things I said, no guns, and a church man, and all this stuff, a reformed criminal. Yeah. There was something about the tone of the script, I think, that just fit my life where it was. So so far there hasn't been I'll say no to something every now and then, but so far there hasn't really been a rhyme or reason. It has just all kind of been happy accidents that end up working out. And this show, when I got it, I had an epiphany a couple of years ago about the dedication to the work. And I was in Atlanta for 3 months, man, and I didn't really do a whole lot except study my lines, watch a little basketball, and hang out with a college buddy that lived down there. And the rest of the time, I was focused on what I'm going to bring to work the next day. And at one point I was like, man, I'm boring. I'm boring myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the reward was every day at work, anything. I was ready for anything. I was ready for anything. And I was also not distracted by anything. No politics bothered me. Anything that came up. I'll tell you a quick funny story. Do you have time for a quick funny story?
Yeah, I think we can squeeze
really squeeze one. Okay, it's really quick. So Michael Raymond-James, I kind of thought he was one of those method guys because I kind of got the nod from just about everybody on the set except him. And so I always I was like, well, what's up with that? So the whole time I'm like, okay, that's his thing. I'm gonna respect that. Maybe he knows something I don't. But it actually made me start to sort of avoid too much contact with him, and it really shaped how I as a character started to feel about him as a character, not knowing anything about him. And the day that I told you I didn't get to the table read until the last episode, the one on Sunday that we're gonna see, I finally went up to him because I love his work ever since True Blood, And I was just like, hey, man, I just got to tell you, I'm big for... It was like bromance, bro hug, bam, right off the bat. And I said, I have to admit, I thought you were, giving me the gas face this whole time. And he was like, no way, dude. So it was like all this stuff had sort of built up in my head, and that wasn't even there. But it helped. It helped. It did something to help. Yeah.
Well, your method, whatever you did,
it worked. It worked.
Great focus, Dennis.
Thank you.
Absolutely pleasure to watch you on screen and to have you join us today to watch the show and to join us here on the panel. I know our fans out there really appreciate you coming in. So.
I appreciate you guys having me. Hi, fans.
Thank you so much.
This is an awesome show. It's a great show.
So thanks again for joining us. And you guys all out there, thank you for tuning in. And, watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up if you like it. Leave a comment with your predictions and your reactions and everything else.
Oh, can I say right quick?
Yeah.
Also, everybody knows the show. NBC hasn't renewed the show. Yeah. There's online petitions and everything out there. If you just search for Game of Silence or bring back Game of Silence or save Game of Silence, all that stuff will help any other network or media outlet that might want to pick us up.
So help us out. Do that, guys. Tweet, do everything. Thanks so much for tuning in. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miaira Jennings. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, guys, and you can find Abby. Where can they find you?
You can find me at _Abby Vega.
And you can find me, Leslie Ambriz, at In Less Than No Time.
And finally, our special guest, Chuma Gault.
At Chuma Gault and Instagram Big Time Operator.
Thanks so much. And guys, just as a reminder, we will be back this Sunday for the finale. We'll be live at 10 p.m. Pacific time, so tune into that. See you guys soon.
Sunday night watching. Come on in.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.